Hi guys, welcome back to Bunny Brick Designs. So it's memory wire day. So I know in a previous video we had done this necklace and I had talked about doing a companion bracelet. And so I was thinking about doing a memory wire bracelet that would basically have something like this on one strand and then having the second and third strands this. So I grabbed my coil buddy that I have. I purchased it. Apparently I lost all of the wires. I'm not sure what I did with them. I know I had 5 originally, ended up with 3, and now I can't find those 3, even though I've reorganized my craft room and it should have been in with this. So I'm assuming that during the reorg, I lost them all. So I grabbed some floral wires that I had from something else and put earring, like silicone earring things on them. I only have 3 of those. I probably will need a couple more. But I wanted to go ahead and kind of use this as my inspiration and take my beads and start stringing them on just to get my pattern going. So I'm going to start in the dead center with my 3 blues. And my memory wire I used silver. I grabbed some silver out of my stash, and it's 60 millimeter in diameter. So I'm going to use my 60 millimeter lines here and just start designing. Now you don't necessarily need one of these coil buddies if you know the length of your the circumference of your bracelet. You can just mark the wires. But this actually helps me because I can set this in here, design it, and see what it's going to look like. And instead of using those earring things, I'm just going to use wire bead stoppers, and that way it's a little easier for me. So what you can't see here, probably me off camera, is I'm just grabbing beads out of my tray and beading them onto this wire a little bit on each side at a time, just so I can, do my design and measure it out so that it'll go out to the 60 inches. And in all actuality, I did the first one, and I could do this as I'm throwing beads again. Because I do believe that might be my center. Let's see. I needed 2 beads for earrings. And then those 2 are going to sit there because that's going to be a bracelet. And then, yeah, so this is going to be my center one this time. So it's going to be opposite of the necklace, but it's going to be still the same pattern so that we've got 3 of these. And so I can just put these on here. And this is actually going to use up all of the blues that I have. At least the bigger blues. At any rate. And then what I'm going to do here is I've got my bead. I'm going to set it in the center. And then I'm going to see how many more of this I need to do in order to get it over to the... And I think what I'm going to do now is just do 3 of those and then put on a bunch of silver just so that we can delineate from the second set, which is going to be those smaller beads. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. So I gave you a little video of Velvet chilling out. She's just chilling. She likes laying by the heater, and I always worry that it's going to make her too warm, but she likes laying there. And it's not super cold out, so it's not like she's freezing, but she really does like hanging out there. All right, so doing that gets me almost to 60 inches, to the 60 millimeters. So if I do 4 of these silvers, I think that will be perfect on this one. So I'm just going to flip my wire around, put on the additional silver, and see, that's perfect. It's slightly over, but that's okay, because the other two are literally just going to be, and I'll show you, it's just going to be the bicone. So I'm going to set this aside for a second and pull out my tray, because literally it's just going to be bicone, silver, bicone, silver, bicone, silver, and we're just going to do that all the way down. So I'm going to pause you. I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So I strung up my beads, and I didn't like the just the bicones and the silver. I thought it was a little too plain, so I put some of the white matte glass beads in between. I think I like that. So I'm not going to string up onto the third wire the design, because I already know how many beads I need for the first tier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my memory wire, and once I get it untangled here, that's the only bad thing with memory wire, is until you get beads on it, it gets tangled very easily. I'm going to use my bail making pliers, and I'm just going to do a very small loop using the smallest loop on my bail making pliers here, and just make a nice round loop if I can. Memory wire is kind of stiff, so it makes it challenging to get a nice round tight loop, but you can do it. So I'm just going to tighten that up, make sure it's nice and flat, and because you don't want that rubbing, you don't want anything sharp sticking out. So now I'm going to try to untwist my wire here and make it a coil. And I'm going to start stringing based on my first design. So I've got bicone, and just keep going. Doing memory wire bracelets is fairly easy. It's literally just stringing beads, and you don't even have to do crimps. You don't have to do anything like that. And so while I was doing my design off camera, Velvet came down from her little perch by the heater. Apparently she got too warm, and is now sitting underneath my foot. So I've got my foot on her head. And I'm kind of like it's not really like I'm hurting her, because my foot's not actually stepping on her, but she wants me to pet. She likes feet. She likes being petted with feet. She's a very weird bunny, but lovable, very lovable. And I know some of my subscribers say anytime there's beads and bunnies, it's a great day. So for those of you that subscribe, I get beads and bunnies every day. It's wonderful. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's actually going to use up most all of my bicones here. That's 6. We may have to do a memory wire in green to go with the other necklace. That would be cool. May not get a ton of jewelry out of this kit, but some really nice pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 7. And then we do our 3. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So, all right. I need to adjust here because bunnies under my feet is making it hard for me to sit in this chair. So I am just pulling and getting this down just to make sure that I counted right and I measured right. So, yep, I did, because it's gonna overlap just a little bit, but when you put it on the wrist, yeah, that's fine. That's perfect. Because you should literally have your beads right up, you know, kind of right next to each other like that. That's perfect. And of course, this is going to stretch a little bit, so it is going to be perfect. I do like that. I think that's very beautiful, very elegant. I think these sets are going to be very, very elegant. All right, I need to unmuss my memory wire. All right, so the next set is going to be this blue one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off a few beads at a time and try to string them up without messing up the order. Some of it'll be easy, some of it not so much. So there's that. And part of the problem is I'm backwards here. Normally I pull it off the other end. And actually I could do that because if I pull it off this way, I can string it on exactly how I pull it off. Unfortunately, trying to design patterns on memory wire and get it exactly the right length, or doing multi-strand bracelets, you have to make sure your length is exact. So these wires and pre-stringing is a must, and bunnies need cookies, sorry. So she gets these country loops. She loves them. They're basically just hay and some herbs baked together. But yeah, you would think that like they were the greatest thing in the world. All my bunnies go nuts for them. I went to something this past weekend. It was a Valentine photo shoot for your bunnies. And while I did not bring my bunnies, I went there to see what they had for, you know, food and treats and things. I ended up buying a fabric bag that was made out of bunny fabric for myself, and then bought some treats that were homemade, hand-baked, and thought that, oh yeah, the bunnies are gonna love it. It went over like lead bricks. They were like, those aren't our country loops. We don't want that. And, you know, bunnies can be weird. They can be finicky. I had a bunny once that, oh no, I just dumped all my beads. Well, at least I know what I'm supposed to be doing anyway. Not paying attention, talking about bunnies. So, anyways, I had a bunny once that, you know, you want to talk about weird. She liked apples. You know, like I would eat a Fuji apple and she'd be up in my face begging for a bite, trying to bite the apple. And so the store didn't have Fuji apples at one point, so I grabbed Macintosh. And I put a piece of Macintosh down and I thought, oh my God, my rabbit's sick. She's not eating apple. She loves apple. And I thought it was weird. And so I finished eating the apple, watched her. She seemed fine. She was acting normal, eating her food, begging for treats, you know, the whole thing. And so a few days later, I went to the store, grabbed some more apples, and, you know, they had Fuji at that point. So I grabbed one Fuji and one Macintosh, and I came home and I wanted to see something. So I was like, well, maybe she just wasn't feeling apple. You know, she didn't want apple that day. So I took the Mac and I cut a piece of the Macintosh and put it down on the floor, and she sniffed at it and she walked away from it. And I was like, oh my God. And so then I went and was like, okay, well, maybe it's the Macintosh. And I grabbed a piece of the Fuji, put that down on the floor, and she ate it. And I was like, so then I put the Macintosh back in front of her and she ran away from it. And I was like, oh my God, this bunny has a preference to the type of apple she will eat. So yeah, so I've found that bunnies can be very peculiar. They do have their preferences. I had bunnies that like banana. I have one bunny that right now, Piper, he will sniff a banana and he will run away from it. Like, no lie, like you put banana in front of him, he will just run away. All right, so we've gotten everything. Oh no, did I just lose? No, I didn't. Okay. I forgot to have my bead stopper on it, and like every time I picked it up, it was dumping beads off. But we're almost to the last bit, so yeah, so my bunnies are, I have weirdo bunnies. I love them, but they're weird. Velvet Legs Feet. And we call her the elusive black bunny, because anybody that comes to my house, you would never know that I had her, because as soon as she hears somebody come in the house, she runs and hides, and she disappears for the duration, and you never see her. But then as soon as everybody leaves, she comes back out. All right, so we've got our bracelet strung up, and I'm really liking that. I think that looks really fun. So I am going to grab my memory wire cutters here and cut off just a small spot. Like, you know, that's probably too long. I always tend to cut it a little too long. But we are going to take our bail making and just make another loop. And so see, it doesn't want to curl quite nicely. So I am just going to use my chain nose pliers and just crimp that. And see, that's what I mean by it doesn't want to make a nice round loop. But we got it. So trying that on. And so that's what it's going to look like. I like that. There you go. So there is the memory wire 3-layer bracelet. And let's see, we've only got, so we can do a pair of earrings in this video too. We can make the earrings for that. Let's make a couple pairs of earrings. So I'm going to grab some silver head pins here, and I'm going to use my ball pins that I have. So I've got these head pins with little balls on them. I'm going to use a couple of those. Oh, excuse me. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a spacer bead, maybe. Yep. That'll go nicely. We're going to do a blue and one of those, maybe. Let's see. Do we want to do that like that? I'm just trying designs here, guys, because I know I want to have these two. I don't know. That is actually kind of cool. I kind of like that. So it's the... Yeah, I like that. I think we're going to go with that. So we're going to do the dark blue and the bicone. So it'll kind of match the necklace and the bracelet. And I learned something new the other day that I think you'll find this interesting. In French, in the French language, they call a set of jewelry, which is usually a necklace, earrings, bracelet, brooch, and that did not work at all, as you can see, but I do know where I need to cut, so we can just cut that. Anyways, they call the they call that set a Perot. And I found that to be interesting. And I was like, okay, but that's if you have, brooch and, all of these other things. And I'm like, so what would they call it if it's just the necklace, the bracelet, and the earrings? And so they call it a demi-Perot. Or I think it's Perot. I can't pronounce it. It's Perot. It's P-A-R-U-U-R-E, I think it. I can't spell it either. But you can Google it, French name for jewelry set. And I was like, that is really interesting. I like the name. So this is going to be my Perot or whatever it's called for this color. I'm going to grab some silver ear wires here. And I'm going to use my nice stainless steel. So I label, and sorry I keep shaking the camera. I keep hitting the table with my knee. I label my stainless so that I know when I'm using it. Just because my stainless steel is a little more expensive than some of the other stuff, and it's a little less expensive than my sterling silver that I use. But I want stainless because I like wearing stainless steel versus sterling silver, because sterling silver, for me, personally, turns my skin green. I'm fine with gold, I'm fine with brass, I'm fine with everything. It's just sterling silver. So when I make jewelry for myself, I use stainless steel. And I like those. They look like little barbells, but they're cute. I think those will go nicely with the necklace. And seeing that we've got a little time, I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm having so much fun with this kit. I think I'm going to do a pair of earrings to the green, and we're going to do a dark green, one of those, a light green, and I'm debating whether I want to put, no, I'm thinking, again here, I'm just trying, that's too big, smaller green, maybe, yeah, smaller green, and then that, yeah, I like that. Again, I don't hesitate to play with your designs and change your mind 1,000 times, because ultimately once you've made the decision and you like it, you're going to stick with it. I know I've had times where I've second guessed myself, and then I'll put something away, and then later I'll come back and I'll be like, oh my god, I love that. And then other times I've said, yeah, I guess that's okay, it's good enough, I'll live with it, and then I put it away and I come back and it goes in the gotta reclaim it pile because I can't stand the way it looks. So now if I don't like something while I'm making it, I will redesign it until I love it. So I have actually off camera spent days trying to come up with a design for beads that I like, and then I'll get on camera and I'll be like, yeah, so here's the design I came up with. And well, I do try to show you that, I do change my mind quite frequently. You don't need to see me spending days going over and over and over what I should do with certain beads in my head, because sometimes it's a matter of I have too many ideas and I don't know which one I like the best. Other times it's a matter of none of the ideas that I have for those beads I like. And so then I just end up, not wanting to do anything with them. I'm sure you've had that before with some of the beads that you've had. You get what I like to call analysis paralysis. So you start looking at it and you just don't know what you want to do with it, and none of it works the way you want it to, so you have no clue. All right, so there is our pair of earrings to go with my dragonfly necklace. So here's the necklace, which is quite heavy, and there's the beautiful pair of earrings to go with it. And so that is that. And I'm thinking we're going to design a bracelet here real quick, because I have a few of these beads left. Might as well use them. A few of these bead caps also. We might as well make a regular bracelet with, and I don't like the black in that. There we go. With the remainder of this, and then I've got some beads left to do. So that may be, if I put that, I'm going to grab my bracelet maker. So I have a bracelet form here, just because sometimes it's easier to see if you've got the right length. So I don't know if I want to do, I have enough that I could do another set of, but then I won't have enough space to put those on. So we're going to do that. We'll put our gold on there. And then I think what I'm going to do is maybe do that. And do I like that? Maybe. I'm just trying to think that if that sits on the wrist, it's going to be uncomfortable. Those, again, I haven't decided what I want to use those for. Maybe grab another one of those beads. Or bigger spacer. Nope, there's the size I want. Come here. Grab a couple of those. Just so we can delineate our pattern from, and then we can just do another set of these with the smaller beads, and then have that on the back of the wrist with gold spacers. And that should be long enough with a extender chain to be a bracelet. So, all right, let's string this puppy up. I'm having so much fun with this kit. I'm going to use it all tonight. Like, I literally got it in today. And so I know you're seeing these videos, you know, days between, because I can't release them all at once. You guys would be overwhelmed. So I release them, you know, to like Mondays and Thursdays, you know, and sometimes one-offs, you know, in the middle of the week or on a weekend when I get way too excited. But I'm literally burning through all of the beads in this kit in the first night, and I'm probably going to have to stop here because it's getting quite late and I have work in the morning. So I've got animals to feed and dishes to do from dinner and lots of stuff going on that I should be doing right now, but I've got so excited by this kit that I'm just excited. I just love this. I think this is just beautiful beads. And I will probably save the rest of this for tomorrow or the next day. So one of the things that I decided for a New Year's resolution, which is probably why I'm doing more beading and things, was that I was giving up TV. And I know some of you just probably had a heart attack when you heard that, but yes, I decided I watched too much TV in any given week. So my goal is to limit it to a maximum of 2 hours a week at most. Unfortunately, I haven't been doing very well with that. So I've been trying more recently to try not to watch TV. All right, so that is what it's going to look like on the wrist. I like that. And like I said, it's a little short, but I think with the extender chain, because what I'm doing when I try this, I'm actually just seeing how close it gets. And actually, I think I may want to do another couple of beads, just because that is super short. And we're going to do one of those and one of those there, and one of these and one of these here. So we'll end on green, which is fine. Because again, what I'm trying to do is just see how close it gets to the other side. So here, let me see if I can, let's just crimp that. All right, I'm just going to crimp this side as close to it as I can. And so all I'm doing is, we'll just do it this way. I'm just trying to see how close they get to each other when I'm designing it, just so that I can say, okay, my wrist, about average wrist. And so that's going to fit nicely with an extender chain. It can be shorter or larger, and I think this is a good size. So I am going to put a crimp bead on. I'm going to put a wire guardian on. So crimp bead from the kit, wire guardian from my stash. And as you can tell, I've been doing these videos all night, and I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm definitely going to have to stop recording, at least for, you know, a few hours, maybe come back tomorrow and finish up the box and do literally, my showcase in a week. But yeah, so, all right, so we've got that side crimped, and we are going to load up the beads over both wires here. And again, you don't have to do this and put the second wire. You could literally cut it off right at the crimp. I just like to have the extra security. And I've heard, you know, I've seen videos where people are like, you don't have to do that. You know, and then I've seen other people that say, oh yeah, it's an absolute must. And, you know, so I guess it's just a personal preference of how you want to design and how you want to make your jewelry. You know, don't let, you know, somebody dictate, you know, how you do it. I mean, whatever you do is right for you. There is no right or wrong. I consider this art. And so you can't tell, you wouldn't tell Da Vinci or Picasso that his painting is wrong. You know, the Mona Lisa didn't have the right smile. So again, don't let anybody tell you that, you know, what you're doing is right or wrong. It's right for you, and it's your art. Enjoy the process like I do. I love this. I am so excited. Oh, God. Do you guys get as excited as me over this? I need another gold spacer chain. I am so excited by this kit. And so you'll have to leave me comments and let me know if when you get these kits, if you're subscribed to the Curated bead box or any of the other bead boxes, do you get, like, when you know it's coming and you get it in the mail, do you just immediately rip it open and have to start working with it? Or do you kind of just put it aside and be like, oh, I'm going to add it to my stash and not use it? Like, what's your take on it? Because I literally feel like I just got this in a few hours ago and I'm 3/4 of the way through it. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces already from this kit. And, you know, I'm excited and I'm loving this, and I think I enjoy this way too much, which is fine. It's, you know, it makes me happy. I hope it makes you happy too. And, you know, I hope you get some enjoyment out of it. And, I like that because this looks like a dark lily pad sitting in a, what I would call a sea of green. Oh, that's just pretty. All right, so we made the bracelet, we've made memory wire, we've made some earrings. We did a lot in this video. So anyways, I'm going to end that for now. I need to go take care of bunnies and clean up this mess because I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to see if I can zoom out a little bit. But, you know, there's mess over there. and there's a whole bunch of mess over there that I need to go clean up. So with that being said, I'm going to go clean my workstation, and we're going to finish this up in the next video, and then I will do a showcase for you on everything that I've done. So anyways, thanks for watching.